and bears risk. Possess the ability to perceive latent economic opportunities. As we mentioned, seeking opportunities and capture these opportunities. Conceives the idea of business. Conceives the idea of business. Accumulate capital. Recruit labor. The right labor for the right post in his business. Establish relation with suppliers. So he has to have good network with suppliers, good network with customers, and also with government. Okay. So he's building rapport or making a network of a very strong relation with suppliers because they will supply his requirements of goods, of money, of equipments, and also customers because they are going to buy his product or they are going to render his services, and also the government because there are so many obstacles that can be created if he did not have good relation with the government. Convert conception into a functional organization. At the end of the day, he can convert conception or idea into a functional organization, into a real business, producing goods and services offered in the market. So he can convert the idea into a real business or real goods and services offered in the market. Suppliers of resources, supervisor, coordinator. So ultimately, he's a decision maker. He is a decision maker. This is another definition of the entrepreneur. We spoke about the quality of the entrepreneur, the 13 competencies, and now we define the entrepreneur himself. As we mentioned, he is the one who innovates. The first point of this definition, who is the entrepreneur, is a person who innovates. We would like to elaborate on innovation. What do we mean innovate? And what is the relation between entrepreneurship and innovation? And what is the relationship between entrepreneur and innovation? So I would like first to define what is innovation, what we mean by innovation. According to Schumpeter, a very well-known economist, international economist, he defined innovation by saying that an entrepreneur is willing and able. He has the ability and he has the willingness, both to do what? To convert new idea or invention into a successful innovation. So many people have so many ideas, but the real challenge is how to convert this idea into real business, into real company that provides goods and services in the market. This is the real challenge. So according to Schumpeter, an entrepreneur is willing and able, has both willingness and able to convert a new idea or invention into a successful innovation. This is the entrepreneur who can innovate, or innovative entrepreneurs. So an idea is not enough. Whatever the shiny, the idea is good, the idea is outstanding, this is not enough. Unless what? Unless the entrepreneur or the inventor has the ability to convert this idea into a real business. How to turn an idea into reality. This is the real challenge. This is the real challenge, and this is the entrepreneurship. The entrepreneur is able and willing to convert the idea into reality, into a real business. Let us see the difference between the one who has the idea and the entrepreneur. Okay? Inventor and innovator. Inventor, he has a new knowledge or product without determining in advance whether a market exists or not. He has a new knowledge, he has a new product is offering, but he didn't know in advance, or he didn't determine in advance whether this product or this knowledge can be marketable. or whether there is the market. That means there are people who are ready and able, who are willing and able to buy this product. So regardless of there is a market or no, he will offer his knowledge or his product. Then the innovator, on the other side of the aisle, we see the innovator. Existing knowledge and the talents of others to develop or adapt a product or service at a volume and cost that can capture a significant portion of the identified market. So the difference between inventor and innovator, that the inventor offer a good or a services without determining whether there is a market, whether is a market exists or not, whether there are customers who has the ability, who has the willingness to buy this product. While inventor, he customize a product or a service at a volume and cost that can capture a significant portion of the market. So generally the innovator, he looks at the market, he sees what's the needs of the market, what are the wants of the market, and at the end of the day, he customizes his product so as to suit the specified or identified market. So the definition of innovation is that innovation is the transformation of an idea into a new improved product. Transforming an idea into a new improved product services introduced into the market. So there must be a market, there must be a customer segment, there must be some customers who are able and willing to buy this good or this services, or to buy for this, or to pay for this services. This is the definition of innovation, transforming an idea or invention into a new or improved product services introduced to the market. So innovation formula is very simple. Innovation equal to invention multiplied by commercialization. How to commercialize the idea? How to commercialize invention? Invention is the innovation. Innovation is equal to innovation multiplied by commercialization. Innovation is the process of translating an idea into original product or services which satisfy a specific customer need. Innovation is the process of transforming idea or invention into original product or services offered in the market to satisfy a specific customer need. I will give an example of a difference between invention and innovation. If you can see, Tim Berners on the left side, he invented the World Wide Web, WWW, in 1991. He is the invention. He's the inventor. He made the invention. But Mark Elliott Zuckerberg, he developed Facebook based on the work of Tim Berners. Larry Page, he developed Google based off Tim Berners' work. Okay. From this example, we can see that Tim Berners is inventor. He invented WW, while Zuckerberg and Larry Page, they commercialize the invention. They make it an innovation. So innovation is commercializing the invention. There are some myths of entrepreneurship, of misunderstanding of entrepreneurship, myth of entrepreneurship. First, entrepreneurs are born, which is not true. Entrepreneurs can be groomed and developed. Second myth, all entrepreneurs are young, which is not true. Some can start at late age and also can be successful, and they can make millions and become millionaires and become billionaires. Entrepreneurs get rich quickly, which is also wrong. To be a successful entrepreneur, to be rich, you have to work very hard. You have to do extra job. You have to work extra time to be a successful entrepreneur, to be a high impact entrepreneur, and to be a rich or millionaire. Entrepreneurs have many free time, which is also not true. Okay, we'll continue define entrepreneurship. What causes economic growth? Economic growth is effect. Entrepreneur is the cause. Entrepreneur is the cause of economic growth. Entrepreneurs, they explore opportunities, convert ideas into viable businesses, proposition, and provide new products and services to society by bringing together the combining various factors of production and change life of the people and the community. So entrepreneurs explore opportunities. Always they are seeking for opportunities. Then they come up with shiny ideas. Then they convert these shiny ideas into viable business opportunities or business profiles. Then at the end of the day, they provide new products and services to the society by bringing together and combine factors of production. So they change the life of people and the life of the community, lifestyle of the people. There are so many countries, they have abundance of resources. They have forests, agricultural resources, water resources, animal resources, land resources, arable lands, but they are still underdeveloped. They are still poor countries because they don't have those who have the ability and willingness to scan the environment, to seek for opportunities, and to convert it into viable project proposals, and then convert it to real companies and businesses that produce goods and services offered in the market, and at the end of the day, combine factors of production and change the lifestyle of the people. Entrepreneurship is the attempt to create value, through recognition of business opportunity, the management of risk, appropriate opportunity, and through the communicative and management skills to mobilize human, financial, material resources necessary to bring a project to fruition or to reality. So entrepreneurship is a process of creating value through recognition of business opportunity and manage risk through the communicative and management skills and abilities to mobilize human resources, financial resources, material resources necessary to bring a project into reality or into fruition. Okay, another definition of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is the ability to create and build a vision from practically nothing. From practically nothing is ability to create a value and build a vision from practically nothing. It is a dynamic process of creating incremental wealth. It is a dynamic process of creating value. It is a dynamic process of creating incremental wealth. So at the end of the day, all of us have entrepreneurial potential. Those 13 competencies that we mentioned earlier are, all of us has bits and pieces of them. Degree might differ. Some of us has highly entrepreneurial competencies, others have low entrepreneurial competencies. So it is just a matter of developing that potential. If we look for those who has the spirit of entrepreneurship, spirit of initiative, and assist them by training, by counseling, we can develop these potentials and we can have a very successful entrepreneur who can look for resources in our countries, who can come up with right project proposal, who can convert those project proposals into or investment proposition into a real business that can provide goods and services to satisfy our need and also to export. And by this, we can develop our economies. Thank you so much. But if you have any question, you can ask this question. I don't know if you can communicate. Okay, by this, I came to the end of my session. It is 11:30 at my place. So I would like to thank you so much for being part of this session. And I wish you all success in your endeavor to develop entrepreneurship in your country. Thank you so much.
Amir, can you please stop sharing? Or Isa, can you stop the sharing, please?
Hi, Afif. I removed the share.
Brother Shakir, you're online. Let me know when you want us to start the official opening so that I can call in Dr. Hashim.
Thank you. We can start.
Okay, so just give me 2 minutes to call Dr. Hashim and then we can continue.
Assalamu alaikum. Hope everything went fine with the session on entrepreneurship with our friend Mr. Amir Abu Bakr. Any questions? You can put them on the chat. Now, what we will do now, we will have the hello, you need to mention lots of competencies. How it's necessary for entrepreneur to have all the competencies together. How can okay عيسى اطلع بس شوي بس اعرف الاسم. سيد فتاح, you asked if the entrepreneur has to have all of these competencies. No, he doesn't need to have all of these competencies, but in generally speaking, entrepreneurs have a combination of these competencies. I don't know if you were given the self-rating questionnaire. If not, we will do that maybe tomorrow. The self-rating questionnaire helps you to quantify the different competencies and helps the entrepreneur know the weak competencies he has, so he starts working on them. نزل شوي عيسى بس. How an entrepreneur change an idea into reality? So back to the competencies. So when we do the self-rating, it will help you quantify, so the entrepreneur will know the weak competencies. And this is a psychological process that we don't go into because it's not our job to do that. But as soon as you expose the entrepreneur to his weak competencies, he will start realizing them and start working on them by himself. This is a long process that we don't get involved into. How an entrepreneur changes an idea into reality. This is exactly the core of the program of how to help an entrepreneur move from an idea to an existing business, to start and grow and expand the business. What's the difference between vocational and entrepreneurship? No, vocational is a sector. You could have an experience in a vocational job, plumbing, carpentry, steelworks, whatever. An entrepreneur. But you can also be an entrepreneur. So a doctor can be an entrepreneur. Somebody who has a vocational background can become an entrepreneur. They're a little bit separate into that perspective.
Assalamu alaikum. It is my pleasure to come back again to you today. And I can see, even today, we see the flag of UNIDO and Mr. Shakir with us. Well, we're delighted to be here today, and I will leave the floor to Mr. Shakir to head this opening session of the UNIDO Enterprise Development and Investment Promotion Program for Afghanistan.
Hello. Thank you very much, Dr. Hashim. Good afternoon, colleagues. I believe all of you now are in the process of this training program, and you have seen and heard from colleagues about the importance of this EDIP project and program that we have been actually trying to initiate and start in Afghanistan for the past 2 years. Unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions last year, we could not start that. And also since travel restrictions still are in place, our friends from Bahrain could not travel to Kabul. Otherwise, it would have been a face-to-face training session. But anyway, in order not to delay this more, and with the amount of demand that we had and interest from colleagues in Ministry of Industry, and we wanted to get this started as soon as we could, we have started at least this first session through online mechanism, and I hope and believe that for the next sessions, our colleagues from Bahrain will hopefully be able to come to Kabul. And also some of you will also be able to travel to Bahrain to also see it for yourself, the services and the center that is providing these support to businesses and to entrepreneurs. So that could even more importantly form this experience sharing that we can have amongst ourselves here, and also hopefully expand that network through the entrepreneurship network that Dr. Hasha mentioned yesterday. In Afghanistan, UNIDO is working with the government through a country programming framework, and one of the components is supporting to industrial sector, promoting entrepreneurship, and also supporting that through economic development and job creation in the country in the inclusive and sustainable industrial development, which is our motto and mandate when working with member states. So we hope to also support that overall goal that we have in Afghanistan to some extent through this program and through your engagement in this project. With that, I also wanted to thank again our colleagues in Bahrain, colleagues in Ministry of Industry and Commerce, and also delegates from the universities, Kabul University and other private universities who are attending these sessions with us. And we hope that as we go through this program, you will gain more knowledge of what has come in this program. And also, hopefully, as we plan, we could inaugurate the first incubation center and investment promotion center within the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, where all of you would be key resource persons to provide services to entrepreneurs, investors in country, and also hopefully we will link it to regional, international markets and entrepreneurs as we go ahead. We were, as you all were in the picture, expecting His Excellency Minister to also join us, but unfortunately, due to the commitments that he had to travel today. So I would now ask our very good colleague, Mr. Omar Hamad, to also say a few words on behalf of His Excellency Minister to this forum. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Majidi. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to all EDIP colleagues, UNIDO colleagues, masters, university professors, and our colleagues in Ministry of Commerce. I'm delegated to welcome you all to this training session on Enterprises Development and Investment Promotion Program in Afghanistan. I'm honored that we are able to target and hold this program, and we expect great success from this training session. I would also like to thank you, our partner, to work with us and support us in launching this program. Online training session, UNIDO Office, Afghanistan, and their team. I believe after this program, we will have 25 monitors and trainers from universities, Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Ministry of Industry and Commerce, who will be a great asset. And I do believe that people can have a deep effect and increase their level of capacity building among SMEs. I would like to put some light on a short summary of SMEs in Afghanistan. Small and medium enterprises, SMEs or MSMEs, have been the backbone of economic growth of economy and a driving industrial development. Due to their sheer number, size, and nature of operation, the role of the SMEs in promoting ambiguous success of growth and strengthening the infrastructure for accelerating economic expansion and development in Afghanistan has been recognized. The interdependence of SMEs and large enterprise and collaborating with each other has led to the further expansion of SMEs. Small and medium enterprise play an important role in Afghanistan economy. The MSMEs makes about 85% of Afghanistan businesses, and they contribute about half to the country GDP. Deficit to help from many foreign countries in rebuilding Afghanistan, SMEs still face a series of challenges that hinder their growth. The lack of comprehensive approach has led to insufficient collaboration between government, institution, and development programs. Funding by international organization and provision of service to small and medium-sized enterprises. Hence, the small and medium enterprise from a large part of this Afghan economics in Afghanistan economic growth lays development of a small and medium-sized enterprises. Afghanistan business environment. Afghanistan business environment future challenges come on the development countries, but also challenges due to conflict zones. Afghanistan businesses do contribute to operate and even grow by independent in variety of ways. Afghan businesses response to the economic incentive. Uncertainty, not insecurity, is the fundamental problem for businesses. Businesses adapt by integrate vertically, emphasizing short-term profit and buying security. Empowerment Afghanistan enterprise and firms. Afghanistan private sector hold unrealized potential, misguided policies, and a general lack of accountability, contribution, and follow strong perpetually this situation. It is a time for a new approach that empower Afghan entrepreneurs and firms, international actors. Implementation of the cluster development incentives start by the gathering information about clusters in a strong participation manner. Such information includes construction faced by the stockholders, unadapted potential, lack of linkage and support mechanism available, etc. The participators process help to build initial trust with the lack of stockholders. Development the cluster vision, development a comprehensive strategy, trust building, action plan, implementation, review, and monitoring. Capacity building, financial management, support MSMEs with a transaction products, saving the investment situation, lending products, and world promotion situation. Export capacity building, rules and procedure of international trades, best practice and expert strategy in how to choose promotional channels for products and overseas markets. Business development, support MSMEs to make structure, change, and develop new business skills, helping them to drive and compete in market economy. Managerial capacity building, lack of appropriate scale for owner manager of MSME is one of the major reasons for the failures of MSMEs. Entrepreneurs' education and training are vital to success of the entrepreneurship ventures. Management skill are vital for the MSME's owner manager in order to plan, organize, control, and direct its activities. As a conclusion, I would like to thank our partners, UNODO officials, for arranging such a useful training session, and I believe interacting with the experts and using their knowledge and their experience will help the participants to increase their knowledge in the area of enterprise development and investment promotion. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hemmat, and appreciate the kind words and also the stress on finding new ways and also focusing on innovation, which is something that we promote. And also with that, I hand this over to Dr. Hashim from our ITPO office in Bahrain for his address. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shakir, and thank you very much, Mr. Omar Ahmad. Yesterday, maybe I have talked a lot to the participants, but I will also take this opportunity to thank again the Minister of Industry and Commerce of Afghanistan to allow UNIDO to start this vital and I believe crucial and timely program, the Enterprise Development and Investment Promotion, to support micro and small and medium businesses development in Afghanistan. I just wanted to add, I will be also working with our brother Shakir to look into the different UNIDO projects where we can work and enhance, supporting, micro and small businesses. We have been working like countries like Sudan, like Morocco, like Egypt, to work with the country frame or the UNDAF of the country, but we look into UNIDO activities and we support the UNIDO team into a better implementation and achieving the objective of ISID. So we will come to Mr. Shakir for another angle to work with us and to share with us, because when we talk about industrialization, when we talk about the productive sector, I believe, and I have been working in this organization for the last 30 years, it has to come to investment and technology promotion. Because industry, it is investment and technology. Any kind of industrial enterprise, micro or small or medium, it is investment and technology. Because industry is all about technology and machinery, but then we have to look into the investment. This is why we in UNIDO, we can work in all kind of activities in the country, it could be in green technology, for example, like in green finance. It could be into access to finance at the traditional or even at the new ventures of finance, like crowdfunding, like venture capital, like business angeling, sourcing the different technologies. When I have explained yesterday through the UNIDO Investment and Technology Promotion Offices, how to upgrade existing enterprises, by modernization of their technology, better access to finance, market outlet. And because we have a bigger network, when we come to investment promotion, this is where we can help in supporting micro and small businesses in Afghanistan. Also yesterday, I talked that we have been working with a number of developmental and financial institutions here in our region, like the Islamic Development Bank, where Afghanistan, of course, is a member state of the OIC, Organization of Islamic Cooperation. We're going to have our partner from IYRC in Istanbul, which is the center specialized for youth and youth development as part of the OIC. We're going to share also a presentation on a portal called Business Hub. This is how to support entrepreneurs from the different OIC, which are 56 member states, how they can work and interact and doing business together. The Kuwait Fund for Development, the Saudi Fund for Development, the Abu Dhabi Fund for the Development, the OPIC Fund, the FEED Fund for Development. Those are all funds provide funding for economic development, as well as international players like Global Entrepreneurs Congress or Global Entrepreneurs Network, the International Society of SMEs, the Global Business Angel Forum, the Creative Cups, Boosting Creativity and Innovation, and others. We have all of this umbrella of network and partners. We are working with them. I have also now been engaged with 7th Generation Advisors, which is mainly an initiative of Leonardo DiCaprio, the famous actor, as a philanthropist, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, on how to support, environment, but also how to support economic empowerment of youth and women. And they have several programs, for example, in India, in Fiji, to support, for example, in Fiji, they have a program how they provide renewable energy to small businesses working from home, mainly women, but how they provide them small generators, which is work with solar energy. And it has been funded by Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation. So this is one of the examples where, from another angle, different than what we are doing with the UN and the UNIDO, this is through our partners where we work with them in different project activities. It's just one example. We have another organization in the US. It is how to support small farmers to market their products outside even of their locality. We have, for example, another initiative from Italy, Mrs. Sarah, where she works on food security for all. She has several programs in that area. So I just wanted to show you, it is not only the context directly of what we are doing, you need an ISID. We have to work, and we have been working with several partners to ensure that we are bringing what we call investment and technology promotion. And very simply, we work at two stages. We have two cups. We have the UNIDO Investment Technology Promotion Office, as what I explained yesterday. As part of the UNIDO Investment Technology Promotion Network, this is work on leveraging and mobilization of foreign direct investment. But we have another very important cap, which is the development of the domestic investment through innovation and entrepreneurship. And this is how we match the two. We work first in developing the ecosystem, as what are we doing now in Afghanistan, to ensure that we are bringing and we are breeding good micro and small businesses. But then it means we have to look into access to finance. It means that we have to look into the technology. It means we have to look into the market of that product or services, either on the local community, regional, or at the international level. So it means we have from day one to work on establishing a healthy operating small enterprise, but we have to ensure sustainability and growth of that enterprise. But also we work on existing enterprises to ensure that we are upgrading their productivity from different angles, from quality management, from productivity, from export consortium, from developing even into clustering, branding, and. You'll see that we move from one activity to another activity, because this is, we call it the cycle of investment. From a startup to growth to maturity. And Afif Barhoum, I think he explained to you yesterday the incubation management system from pre-incubation, incubation, and post-incubation. So what I wanted to ensure, the government of Afghanistan, and especially the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, of course, through the good coordination and cooperation of our office in Afghanistan, that it is just a start. We're just building the base of our pyramid. We'll take it up to the higher end, because this is how investment promotion work when we talk about UNIDO. I will leave the floor to our brother, Mr. Ubaidli Al-Ubaidli. He was the president of the Arab Union of ICT, and he's also a volunteer senior advisor to UNIDO Arab International Center for Entrepreneurship. I actually asked him to be coming in this opening because we are talking about the fourth industrial revolution. We're talking about the digitalization, and now in all of our components, when we develop any program on entrepreneurship, we have to ensure entrepreneurship and innovation. So we have to ensure we are bringing to the stakeholders in any country we are working in, what are the new trends, which small and medium enterprises, future ones and the existing ones, they shouldn't leave behind, and they should make sure they are in the mainstream of the utilization and the fourth industrial revolution. Fadal,
thank you, Dr. Hashim. I'd like to welcome everybody on the stage, and I'm honored to have this opportunity to address this community. I'm sure through the Bahraini model, moving into Afghanistan will give, say, a two-traffic relationship whereby the model will have a new dimension and Afghanistan will have another opportunity to grow up their entrepreneurial project and the schemes. I don't want to take all of your time, I mean, long time from your, let's say, attendance. I will just continue what Dr. Hashim laid the foundation for. He didn't talk about just entrepreneurs or access to finance or what. He talked about an ecosystem. And I mean, when we talk about ecosystem, it is very important that we launch, let's say, Bahrain models in Afghanistan based on the ecosystem, whereby every single component needed to have this ecosystem or this project succeed. Based on that, the solidity of this ecosystem. And the component of the ecosystem is number one and number 10 is the human resources. This is the human that Bahrain model addresses, and is a human being that will make it or break it. And I think in Afghanistan, reading about Afghanistan, you have a lot of potential in this dimension, because I know the young generation of the Afghanis, they have the potential to grow and to become and to position Afghanistan as one of the leading small nations worldwide. Definitely, we'll need three things in order to have this, let's say, relationship successful or as a model. And as Dr. Hashim always keeps repeating, that the finance is the least of my priority and the finance is the last item in my agenda. Usually it is the people and how we prepare the people in order to be able to, they will be the capital and they will be the investment. And when I talk about the people, I mean both male and females, and definitely both of them will have hand in hands together in order to be able to achieve what we are looking for. I would look from the ICT angle at a very quick glimpse. ICT now is a very powerful vehicle that any entrepreneur need, and I think because of the pandemic, it proved that no matter what the circumstances are, IT will be a vehicle that will give opportunities which is passed by time and geography, i.e. time has no value when it comes to IT because you can talk anytime to anywhere, and when it comes to geographical boundaries, it has no boundaries because ICT is transcendental all over the globe. And ICT opens an opportunity for especially SMEs, because what you need is not the financial capital, which is an obstacle, which is used to be an obstacle against any SMEs or against any entrepreneur. The focal point of any entrepreneur approach or idea or project is that's what ICT will give. ICT will give them the vehicle, will give them the reach to finance and non-finance aid. And I'm sure that in Afghanistan, both the entrepreneur and the ICT will be available for the simple reason. I know you have a good infrastructure when it comes to ICT, though people claim not, but I can see that I've done some reading and there is an infrastructure in some places. And I think if we escalate this infrastructure, Afghani entrepreneur will have a good opportunity to prove themselves worldwide. I will not go into details because I have another session, I think, next week, and I'll leave the floor, but I can promise you that definitely I have all the confidence, all the trust that both when we shake hands together, we'll achieve what you wanted your entrepreneur to be. And I read the Kite Runner by Khalid Hussein, and I enjoy it.
Thank you, Abedli. Abedli is also, he works in co-organizing GITEX. You know, GITEX is the largest ICT fair which takes place every year in Dubai. And this is also could be a good eye-opener for Afghanis working in the area of ICT. And this is, you know, this is the way we work with the different partners, because he is the president of the Arab Union of ICT. So he deals with all activities related to ICT in the Arab region, but mainly with GITEX, because GITEX is the largest worldwide, fair for ICT, which take place every year in Dubai. Thank you, Mr. Ubaidli, and definitely next week we're going to have a full presentation on what do we do and how we can support Afghanistan. Back to you, Mr. Shakir. Shakir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Hashim and Dr. Ubaidli, for your very informative information and statements. I just want to point back to one issue that Dr. Hashim mentioned, is about linking this with our other programs in Afghanistan. You may be aware that we have just concluded the first phase of entrepreneurship curriculum program with Ministry of Education, where we have developed curriculum and textbook for grade 10, 11, and 12, so focusing on youth. We are currently also in discussion with Ministry of Education Bank project supporting food safety and SPS, which will relate both into the ag sector as well as also linking it with the export market and also compliance with WTO. We are also working with National Environmental Protection Agency on a number of environment-related projects, including an energy efficiency project, which has currently started. And in the framework of the GCF Global Fund for Climate Fund, we are also working to focus on that issue, focusing on industries. But apart from that, currently we are also thinking and focusing on how to develop a comprehensive framework where we link, as you mentioned, Doctor, how we can link entrepreneurship and also focusing on the TVET sector, which is undercapacitated in Afghanistan, and also directly linking it with the gaps that we have in manufacturing sector. So that would relate to the manufacturing, agribusiness, and all that. So currently we are working on to how we can develop a comprehensive program that we could provide and support the country and also the industry. I will not go much into detail on that. So I thank you very much, and I don't want to take much of the time of the actual training today. But hopefully we can connect back towards the end of the program.
Sure. Very interesting point. You see, you have said that the curriculum which have been developed for the Ministry of Education on entrepreneurship is very interesting. The first curriculum for entrepreneurship for UNIDO, we have developed it in Bahrain together in cooperation with UNESCO. This was about 20 years back. First, we started with the vocational and the ICT schools. Here we have specialized vocational and ICT centers in Bahrain. This was 20 years back. And this program has been implemented, even the curriculum, when it has been transferred to Sudan with the UNIDO team. They visited Bahrain 13 years back to take this curriculum, what we have been doing. But the way we develop the curriculum, because we are in the area of investment promotion, we make it a practical curriculum, because curriculums, when have been given to the Ministries of Education for centers, theoretical, it does not work. You have to equip first the faculty staff or the teachers on the curriculum with a practical approach. So what we will do, and I think Dr. Amal Al-Jawdar next week, she's providing a presentation. We have now a program called Innovation and Entrepreneurship to achieve the SDGE for the schools. So we call it the Olympiad, the schools Olympiad, or the schools Olympics, which is the private schools and even the public schools. We started this 4 years back. That students from the age of 12 to 15, they compete through the school to provide a business plan for a solution related to the SDGs, 1, 2, 3, whatever. Okay. but it's all related to innovation, which really matches what UNIDO is looking for, especially we're talking about the fourth industrial revolution. But this is a very detailed program because first of all, we have to train and certify the teachers at the school, and this is with an agreement with the Ministry of Education. So when the school teachers, they come and we train them on the EDIP modality and the implementation of the EDIP modality, the credit hours which we provide to the teachers is being certified by the Ministry of Education, you know, and all of this certification for the Ministry of Education is certified by the British Certification Board for Education, you see? So it became an international standardized program for the teachers. This is why the teachers found more incentive to be part of the program, because also you have to provide incentive to the teachers to do that. And then the whole ecosystem, they are part of that business plan competition, which means the SME Fund, commercial banks, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Supreme Council for Women, Supreme Council for Environment, and Business Women Association, Entrepreneurship Development Association, KPMG, Ernst Young, they're all part of the program to support the development of the business plan. Number of entrepreneurs, volunteers, also they support each school. You know, now, this year we have about 65 schools that are competing. We are going to have the finals on 4th of April, where the Minister of Industry himself comes into an exhibition. The exhibition is divided into different areas related to the SDGs, because we might find 8, 10, 5, 6, whatever number of SDGs, then we will divide the exhibition. And then we have a jury, comes from financial institutions, comes from Ministry of Industry and Commerce, come from entrepreneurs and others, where they will judge the best 3 winners, and the best 3 winners will come from 3 schools. For example, last year, one of the winners was girls' schools. They have done a very innovative pilot project, is sanitizer on the mobile phone. Okay? Sanitizer? Yes, on the mobile phone. Wow. You know, which could be used either as a sticker. There are 3 girls at the age of 14. You know, and we took it to the global innovation competition for COVID. It is a UN setup, and now they're working on the prototype. Those are, but because the way the program is structured and how it's evolving everyone to ensure that we are giving the opportunity for those students to think out of the box. So we will share with you this program and how it could be implemented. And then here we're targeting 2 things. We're targeting that we're boosting innovation and entrepreneurship for the future generations. You know, innovation and it's not only entrepreneurship, innovation and entrepreneurship. And at the same time, we are activating all the stakeholders to be part of that program. You know, from ministries, from financial institutions. So we will share that, and we will be ready to help even then to equip how we can implement and develop this program for Afghanistan. Fine. I will stop here because I think we have to carry on the presentation and our activities. But we will be coming back again. Most probably, we will need to have good time with Mr. Shakir and Mr. Omar, or whoever representative from the ministry, because we will talk about a template for a national strategy for innovation and entrepreneurship for Afghanistan. It will be the first blueprint draft. This is the way we do it always when we finalize the program. Then we will need 2 to 3 weeks to ensure that everyone has provided his comment. Then we will provide it through the good office of Mr. Shakir, where he will deliver it to the government, how we will implement the EDIP program, you know, to enhance the ecosystem for the stakeholders of SMEs development in Afghanistan. Okay, so I will leave the floor to Afif, Mr. Shakir, and then most probably we need you to devote good time. I think it is on Thursday, Afif, coming Thursday.
For which session, the discussion?
The clothing for the strategy.
Thursday, March 11.
Okay, fine. So Mr. Shakir and Mr. Umar, it's very important that you ensure that you block, 1 or 2 hours. 2 hours will be fine, I think, because we have to listen to whatever they will bring as a strategy, because we'll divide them into teams, and then we can share this. We will draft the first draft, the blueprint. We'll share it with everyone. We'll make everyone to provide his comment, and then Mr. Shakir can take it with the government for the implementation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hashim, for the closing remarks. And absolutely, we do need to link the interventions that we have on the curriculum that I mentioned with your experience, and also coming to the development of a strategy. Ministry's leadership and also the colleagues who are engaged through this training program would be very much vital, and we hope by the end of this program, by Thursday next week, that is, so we'll have something to then build upon and then discuss with the government. So thank you very much, colleagues. Have a much more fruitful sessions in the coming days, and we will be happy to support you in any way possible to make this more clear and also beneficial to you. Back to you, Dr. Afif. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I will just share again my screen. I hope you can see my screen. Okay. Once again, as I told you yesterday, I'm going back to the questionnaire number 10, because this is exactly what the questionnaire that Dr. Hashim was talking about, and that will help us develop the local ecosystem that's available to be able to map the local ecosystem in Afghanistan, and then see what are the requirements needed to enhance and improve this ecosystem, whether there are agencies that are missing or agencies that would require additional attention from outside. Again, I would like to go back to explaining, once again, the steps of the modality, so that we make sure that this modality is very clear for you. I believe that our IT colleagues from the office here shared with you this presentation, so you can use it. Please note that we are available all during this week and next week. When you start working on answering this questionnaire, that we are more than willing also to provide our own feedback to this. So it's an exercise that we can develop together, and we're more than willing to do that. If you require, we can also share our email contact so that we can start developing this, the national ecosystem strategy. Once again, our modality is made up of 5 steps, as I said yesterday. What my colleague, Mr. Amir, presented today about an entrepreneur, the entrepreneurial competencies. Tomorrow, we will have a short session in the beginning, in the morning, to explain to you how we can quantify these entrepreneurial competencies in each of in the entrepreneurs. So once again, the program is built on 5 steps: preparation and empowerment, which is a very straightforward training program on marketing, finance, entrepreneurial competencies, knowing about the ecosystem in Afghanistan, who does what services can be offered to the entrepreneur from the various institutions. Because I noticed that one of the questions was, how can we help the entrepreneur change from an idea into reality? This modality, this 5-step modality, is exactly how to do that. And we're more than willing to support in any way possible. So preparation and empowerment tomorrow, inshallah, There will be a session specifically on that by our colleague from Sudan, Mr. Amir. He will go into the details of what components, what training sessions have to be given to the entrepreneurs. When we finish the preparation and empowerment, we move to what we call counseling and technology tie-up. And this is where we sit and we do face-to-face business counseling for the entrepreneur so that he can identify or finalize the idea selection and then start developing the business plan. Looking into the different components of the business plan, marketing, finance, administration, resources, technology needed, the market strategy, the financial strategy, the accounting system. So we will be developing all of that together with the entrepreneur. It's not our duty to do the business plan for the entrepreneur. It is cooperative, it's a collaboration. But the entrepreneur has to take the lead, because at the end of the day, this business is the entrepreneur's business, is his reputation, it's his own time, it's his own investment. So accordingly, this has to be made very clear that the entrepreneur should take the lead in developing the business plan. Once we finalize the business plan and the project or the business is viable, then we link the entrepreneur to the financial institutions. I know in Afghanistan, maybe the majority of the financing available is microfinance. We can also look into other financial tools and instruments through, as Dr. Hashim was saying, through the Islamic Development Bank. Maybe we can try to get the credit line, but still you have to keep in mind that this is a long process. It's not a process that will happen in 3 months. So as long as we don't have quality entrepreneurs, it is very difficult to bring in an SME fund. Accordingly, we have to focus on providing non-financial services to existing entrepreneurs, and at the same time trying to develop a new breed of entrepreneurs in Afghanistan. And this will help us build the case when we approach the Islamic Development Bank or Saudi Fund or Kuwait Fund or USAID or whatever, so that we can ensure we have some funding mechanisms available that will suit the requirements of the entrepreneur. So the first 3 steps, once again, this is what we call the pre-incubation. And then once the financing is there, the entrepreneur will start the incubation phase, which is 2 types. Either, as I said yesterday, physical incubator, where the entrepreneur will apply for a business incubator, or he will be virtually incubated. In our experience, in over 52 countries around the world, 98% of your entrepreneurs will not even see an incubator. They will mostly be virtually incubated so that they can start implementing their project. Once the incubation phase is underway, entrepreneurs will start looking at the growth of their businesses and how they can expand, increase their sales, look into developing new projects, new ideas, new products, new services. So accordingly, we move back again to what we call post-incubation and growth. And if you remember yesterday, I went through the slide of the various services that we provide for the growth period. Going back to the questions, just to give you some, some insight on the things we're looking at. What do you think of the EDIP program for Afghanistan? So this is question number 1. Do you think it's a good modality? Do you think it's not a good modality? Because this will help us really understand more what's happening in the ecosystem in Afghanistan. 2, what is needed to ensure the successful and smooth operation of the EDIP in Afghanistan. So if you have any feedback, if you have any recommendations that we can use, this will help us addressing the whole entrepreneurship ecosystem for the whole country. If some of you would like to focus on Afghanistan or a certain region in Afghanistan, please do that. If you would like to submit this strategy collectively, it's a good idea, but I would recommend that we split ourselves into 2 or 3 groups. and we leave this to you so that we can have different perspectives and different angles. 3, what services and role is the organization capable of providing at the different stages of the EDIP program? Sorry, here it says 4, it's actually 5. So what we want, I know we have people from universities, from associations, from the ministry, from maybe incubation centers or whatever. So what we want each one of you to come and say, my role as a Ministry of Industry, we can do some training components, we can do business counseling. Maybe the university will come and say, we can provide more on the counseling part because we have a big number of professionals and trainers and professors that we can provide. Associations could have a different say in the program. Do you know of any organization operating in your country that can add value to the EDIP? I don't know. I don't believe we have anyone coming from financial institutions. So this could be one of the recommendations, that there has to be, one of the recommendations here is that, yes, there is the possibility of an added value from the microfinance setup that's available in Afghanistan, or from this private sector bank, or from this public bank. So I'm more or less positive that we don't have anyone from the banks, and because the financial institutions are a key component to the success of this program, is not needed from day one, but we need to start developing this interaction and integration and cooperation with the financial institutions. Do you have any other views or comments or suggestions? This is open. You can say we need from UNIDO to provide us technology tie-ups. You can ask, whatever you need. So I hope, we are all on the same page when it comes to, on this questionnaire number 5, because this is a really key element in developing the national strategy. And then, Mr. Dawran, do you have a question?
No, thanks.
Okay. So once again, this is the ecosystem based on the questionnaire number 10. We will be able to develop this ecosystem that will be shared with the ministry, and then we can start developing different components with the various ministries. I know Afghanistan has a sector in agriculture, so maybe they can be part of this modality. There are some incubators and accelerators. They're also not part of this. Financial institutions is another area where, added value can be given to these entrepreneurs. Once again, we have different technologies. So this is more or less, if anyone has a question, I know our timekeeper will tell me that we need to finish in half an hour. Am I correct? Correct, we have 30 more minutes to go. Hello?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you. Is Mr. Shakir still here? So, okay. Can you write in the chat how much time we still have, please, if you don't mind? Because I believe you have to leave because there's transportation for the ministry.
We have about 20 minutes, sir.
Wow. So, okay, let me check if Dr. Hashim will, because I believe he wants to take from here. Just give me 1 minute. I'll check with him and then I'll come back. Okay, so I'm back. Let me tell you, we have a slight issue because we only have 20 minutes. Dr. Hashim wanted to give you a session on what we call business identification. How can we help entrepreneurs identify successful businesses that they can invest in? But this exercise needs at least 1 hour, and 20 minutes will not be enough. From my side, I will not start a new presentation because I would need more than 20 minutes. So we're going to finish today early, and we will see you, inshallah, tomorrow at 12:30 Kabul time. Hope that's okay for everyone. Clear? I need someone to answer me, please, because I need someone to let me know that.
Okay, sir. It's okay.
We can hear you. And just one point, Sayyid Jalal asked, when are you going to share the link of yesterday's presentation? It's already available in this chat. Just scroll all the way up.
Isa, let me tell you, please.
Hello, thank you for joining us today, guys. I will be sharing with you the presentation tomorrow morning. All right?
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aziz. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.